Boeing Starliner successfully lands in White Sands, New Mexico. Boeing's Starliner spacecraft successfully splashed down in New Mexico just after midnight earlier today after undocking from the International Space Station, ISS, in the evening yesterday. The landing saw Starliner successfully fire its thrusters to adjust itself for orbital re-entry, and the ship's landing marks the completion of the ship's crewed flight to the ISS. However, Boeing's crewed spacecraft failed to carry its crew back to Earth after NASA decided in August to use SpaceX's Crew Dragon for crew return, as agency experts were unable to reach a consensus for returning astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams on Starliner in the wake of thruster malfunctions on the ship. Starliner successfully adjusted attitude for orbital re-entry before landing in the desert ahead of today's landing. Mission managers gave the ship the go-ahead for its crucial deorbit burn. This burn involves Starliner's orbital maneuvering and attitude control, OMAC, thrusters, out of which one thruster had developed problems during the ship's ISS docking in June and extended its stay in space. This time around, the thrusters fired successfully at 11:18 p.m. Eastern Time, and once their job was done, the ship's service module at its bottom successfully jettisoned away. The service module separation also exposed the ship's heat shield to the atmosphere to allow it to begin the most stressful phase of its journey. Its deorbit burn reduced the spacecraft's speed by 290 miles per hour or 130 meters per second, and after the heat shield deployed, the ship faced temperatures of up to 3,000 Fahrenheit after it entered the atmosphere. This strenuous portion of Starliner's journey is called its entry interface, during which the ship enters a 4.5-minute communications blackout because of the plasma surrounding it. The entry interface saw Starliner slow itself down from a breakneck speed of 17,500 miles per hour. Since Starliner is designed to land on Earth, the only US-built crewed spacecraft capable of doing so, its heat shield also has to jettison before landing. This allows the ship's bottom airbags to deploy to cushion its landing on the ground. Today's mission saw the heat shield separate from the spacecraft roughly 30,000 feet after it entered the atmosphere. Like SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft, Starliner also softens its final landing phase by deploying 2 sets of parachutes. The first of these are the drogue parachutes, which deploy at roughly 8,000 feet and at the same time with the heat shield jettison. Since Starliner lands on the ground, it removes one set of complicated weather the teams have to account for before landing. Soon after the drogues deployed, Starliner's main parachutes successfully opened, after which the landing teams on the ground confirmed deployment as they heard the accompanying booms. Crucially for Starliner, all 3 parachutes were successfully deployed. Parachutes are one of the most complex components of a spacecraft, and Starliner has also suffered from problems with them before. Starliner's airbag deployment was the final phase of its landing, after which the ship landed in White Sands, New Mexico, at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time.